Welcome to today's football predictions on Best Crops. Another very beautiful day, beautiful Saturday morning, and once again we back with our predictions as usual. We always look at football matches that are going on across the globe, and we select a few of them and look into this few. With the previous stats that we have on those games, we use to make verdicts on each of these matches. All right, that's what we do on a daily basis. All right, and that's exactly what we're going to see today. All right. I always urge you to join our VIP group, our VIP special group that you see the button where you click join, hit join button so that you have access to our exclusive perks, and those are games that I feel that are closer to certainty of coming out successful. All right, and also remember to join to subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel. All right, if you're coming across the first time, hit the subscription button and turn on the notification as well. All right. That being said, without further ado, we head to the business of today, and we'll start the first match that we're predicting today in Danish second division, where we have Middelfart who will be up against Kiev. Okay, when we look at the stats for each of these two sides, you can see that Middelfart have won two matches as well as three draws, but have also lost one in the last six matches. Okay, when you look at Kiev, on the other hand, the away side have won two games and two draws, also losing two matches in the last six recent encounters. All right, when you look at how the two teams fared from home and away basis, all right, Middelfart, the home side, have actually won 7 matches and a draw, but have lost two games out of the last 10 home matches. And away side, Skiv, on the other hand, have won 4 games and also two draws, losing 4 matches in the last 10 away matches that they had. So, but we saw Middelfart doing so very well. The last home game against Nasved, they won by 3 goals to 0 on that occasion. And that, also, we'll also note the fact that Middelfart, this is actually the last match for the season for each of these sides, and Middelfart needs a win here to help them advance to second position, which is quite needed. But Sky had no, no much attached to this very match they're playing. It doesn't change the outcome of the season for them. So it is the home side who actually needs this very encounter so much. So we expect to see the home side winning in this very one home win. That's what we expect. Okay. All right. The next is in the Norway second division, where we have Sandnes ULF will be up against the Flickeroy, and we'll go down to the stats for each of these sides. Sandnes have actually won 2 matches and 3 draws, but have also lost one in the last 6. And Flickeroy, on the other hand, have won just 2 games and 2 draws, but have also lost 2 matches in the last 6 matches that they had. Okay, but when you look at how the two teams fared from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side, the Sandnes, have won 4 matches, but have had 4 draws as well in the last 10 home games. All right, and they also lost 2 out of those. And away side, the Flickeroy have won 3 games and 2 draws from away. They've also lost 5 matches in the last 10 away games that they had. But when you look at Flickeroy in the last, recent 6 games that they played from away, have resulted to lots of goals. As a matter of fact, the last 10 away games produced over 2.5 8 times out of the last 10 away games that they had. And away side, Sandnes, on the other hand, also have seen a very similar situation, also expressing over 2.5 7 times out of the last 10, rather 8 times out of the last 10 home matches that they have so far. So in this one, we're expecting to see a minimum of 3 goals, expecting a minimum, even though the last meeting between two sides saw Sandnes beating this side by 4 goals to 0. So we still expect to see 3 goals at minimum in this very game. Over 2.5, that's our value for that very one. And we go to the next, it is and also in Norway second division, but in Group 2, Norway second division Group 2, where we'll have Ulen Saka who will be up against Asker. Okay, for Ulen Saka, the last 6 games have resulted to 4 victories and 2 draws. And away side, Asker have won 2 matches out of the last 6 games, but have also lost the 4 matches out of those. When you look at how the two teams fared from home and away basis, you can see that Ulen Saka have won 3 games and 3 draws, but have also had 4 losses in the last 10 home matches. And away side, Asker, 2 wins, 3 draws, as well as 5 losses. But again, it is the goals that actually, are prominent in coming out in most of the time for Ulen Saka, the home side. 7 times out of 10 have resulted to over 2.5. As a matter of fact, the last 5 home games that they had, the last 5 home games that they had produced over 2.5. And for their away side, Asker, also we've seen a lot of goals. It is 6 times out of 10 that have produced over 2.5. And the last away game they had was against Aalst. It was a 3-4 victory for Asker on that very occasion. So in this very one, we know that a lot of goals are also expected. We expect to see the 3 goals at least in this very encounter, over 2.5. That's about it for that very game. And the next is in Swedish second division, Super 10, where we'll have Falkenberg who will be facing Helsingborg. Okay, for Falkenberg, they've won 2 games and 3 draws, but also they've lost 1 in the last 6 matches. And Helsingborg winning just 1 game and 3 draws, losing 2 matches in the last 6 encounters. All right, when you take a look at how the two teams fared on home and away basis, you can see that the home side, Falkenberg, have done pretty much well playing from home, seeing that the last 10 home matches that they had produced 7 victories out of the last 10 home matches. The other 3 being a draw. They've not lost any single match in the last 10 home games that they had so far. And Helsingborg have managed just 1 victory, and they've also had 3 draws, but have lost 6 matches in the last 10 away games that they had so far. And even though the head-to-head record saw Helsingborg beating this side from home on that occasion, that was a match of the series by 2-1. We still expect the home side, who have shown much better promise, seeing that they've not really lost from home and they've done so very well. And we also know that the last home match they had saw them beating the likes of Trelleborg by 4-0. 4-0 on that occasion. So we expect the home side winning out shortly here, despite the big odd. We expect to see home side Falkenberg to win out shortly. That's about it. Okay. And the next up is also in the same Swedish Super 10 League, where we have Kalmar, who will be coming up against Landroskarna. Okay, and for Kalmar, it is 2 victories and 4 draws in the last 6 matches. And Landroskarna have been able to achieve 2 victories as well as 2 draws and also 2 losses in the last 6 games that they had. We'll take a look at how the two teams fared from home and away basis. We see that Kalmar in the last 10 home matches have produced 7 victories and now in a draw, as well as 2 losses in the last 10 home games that they had. And the away side, Landroskarna have also won 4 matches from away. The last 10 away games have produced 4 wins for them, as well as 1 draw, but have also lost 5 matches in the last 10 away games that they had. Okay, the last away game they had saw them winning against Aalst by 2-1 on that occasion, but prior to that we saw them losing to Vega Boys by 4-2. But Kalmar, the last 4 home games that they had have resulted to victory in all 4 home matches that they had. The last home game was against Umeå, and they won by 2-0 against Umeå. Okay, and on head-to-head basis, Kalmar won the last meeting between the two sides by 2-1. But when we put all that together, seeing the fact that Kalmar have produced 4 draws in the last 6 games, we expect to see the home side to not lose here. We expect to see home side either winning or draw, but yet we're going to see under 4.5 in this one. So home win or draw and then the 4.5. That's our verdict for that very encounter. And that concludes it for us today on BetCraft. We wish you the very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. Remember to join our VIP special group where we'll be looking at fewer games that I believe to result to much more certainty of coming out successful. Okay, and that being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back with our predictions on this very channel. Do not miss out. But until then, keep winning.